Right, Brisbane just hit 38 degrees while Hobart S sitting at a chilly 12. That's a 26-degree difference across the country. And if you reckon that S wild, wait until you hear what S coming for your area over the next 72 hours. Is your city about to cop severe storms, extreme heat, or finally get that rain you have been begging for? Currently, the Bureau of Meteorology has severe weather warnings active across 3 states, affecting over 8 million Australians, and the models are showing some pretty interesting developments that could change everything by the weekend. Chuck your location in the comments right now, because tomorrow I'll be doing personalised forecasts for specific regions, and you don't want to miss that. Now, in the next 60 seconds, I am going to give you exact timing for Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, Perth, Adelaide, Hobart, Darwin and Canberra. Sydney, you are looking at storms rolling in tomorrow afternoon around 3 p.m, peak intensity between 5 and 7, then clearing overnight. Melbourne, dry through tomorrow, change arrives Friday morning with showers developing by lunchtime. Brisbane, afternoon storms today and tomorrow, but Saturday S looking clear. Perth, you've got beautiful conditions straight through the weekend. Adelaide, similar story to Perth, lovely weather continuing. Hobart, showers tomorrow morning, clearing by afternoon. Darwin, typical wet season stuff, afternoon storms daily. Canberra, hot and dry through Thursday. Storms possible Friday, Arvo. Now, Access is showing something really interesting for the southeast. There's a low pressure trough developing off the New South Wales coast, and depending on exactly where this thing sets up, we could see vastly different outcomes for the Sydney Basin, the Central Coast, Newcastle and the Illawarra. Currently, Access R is suggesting the trough stays about 100 kilometres offshore, which would give us storms but nothing too severe. However, the European model reckons this thing could drift closer to the coast, and if that happens, we are talking about much heavier rainfall totals, possible flash flooding and some decent winds. This difference matters enormously because it's the gap between 50 millimetres and 150 millimetres in some coastal areas. We'll have a better idea tomorrow morning once the overnight model runs come through, so definitely check back, because this is one of those situations where 24 hours makes a huge difference to the forecast confidence. Let's talk temperatures. For you lot in Western Sydney, Penrith and Campbelltown, you are pushing 37 tomorrow before the storms hit. Once that change comes through, you will drop back to around 28 on Friday. The coastal suburbs want to get quite as hot, maybe 32, 33 because of that sea breeze. Newcastle is currently sitting at 34. You'll all hit 36 tomorrow. Then the southerly change brings you back to the mid-20s by Saturday morning. Down in Wollongong, similar pattern, but you are staying a degree or two cooler throughout. Coffs Harbour at 31 today, 33 tomorrow. Storms likely Friday afternoon around 4 or 5, could be severe. Wagga Wagga, you are in for a scorcher, 39 tomorrow, 40 on Friday, then finally some relief Saturday. Dubbo, 38 today, similar tomorrow, dry heat. Now, Victoria's got a completely different weather pattern happening. There's a high pressure system sitting over the bight, that S keeping things settled across most of the state, but there is a weak front approaching from the southwest that should arrive Friday. Melbourne, you are at 26 today, 27 tomorrow. Then Friday, that front brings you back to around 21 with showers developing. Geelong runs a degree cooler than Melbourne throughout. Ballarat, you are already cooler at 22 today, 23 tomorrow, then dropping to 17 on Friday with showers. Bendigo and Shepparton up in the north of the state, you are a warmer 30 tomorrow, 28 Friday. The change takes longer to reach you. Mildura, you are running hot like inland New South Wales, 37 tomorrow, 38 Friday. Queensland, right, this is where the tropical moisture comes into play. The monsoonal trough is still active across the far north, and we are seeing that typical wet season pattern of morning sunshine building clouds through the day, then afternoon and evening storms. Brisbane and the Gold Coast, 29 degrees today, 30 tomorrow. Feels like mid-30s with the humidity. Storms this afternoon around 4, similar tomorrow, but Saturday's looking clearer as a drier air mass moves in. Sunshine Coast, basically the same pattern. Toowoomba on the ranges, you are a few degrees cooler, but same storm pattern. Up in Townsville, 32 degrees, afternoon storms, humidity is sitting around 80%, so it feels pretty oppressive. Cairns, 31 degrees, heavy afternoon storms, and I need to mention this, if you are in far north Queensland, it is still stinger season. Box jellyfish are present in coastal waters. Only swim in netted enclosures or wear a stinger suit. This isn't negotiable. Folks, these things are potentially deadly. Mackay at 30 degrees, Rockhampton 33, both with afternoon storm chances. Bundaberg 29, similar story. Now, here is the one thing that S got me a bit concerned about the weekend. There is potential for severe storm development on Saturday across parts of southern Queensland and northern New South Wales that could produce large hail and damaging winds. The ingredients are lining up, but the timing, still uncertain. Perth, you absolute beauty. You are getting textbook summer conditions. 31 today, 32 tomorrow, 33 Friday. Minimal clouds, sea breeze each afternoon around 2 p.m. This is why people love Perth summers. Bunbury down south, couple degrees cooler. Geraldton up north, similar to Perth. Kalgoorlie, inland, you're rerunning hot, 37 tomorrow. Adelaide, you're in that lovely Mediterranean summer pattern, 29 today, 30 tomorrow, dropping back to 26 Friday. Barely any rain on the radar. The fire danger rating is high to very high across parts of South Australia. So if you're replanning any outdoor activities, be aware of total fire ban days. Mount Gambier down on the border, you are cooler at 24 degrees. Hobart, you are the coolest capital as usual. 21 today, 20 tomorrow with morning showers, then clearing to 19 on Friday. Launceston running similar numbers. Devonport on the north coast, 20 degrees with showers clearing. Darwin, wet season continues. 31 degrees daily, afternoon storms, humidity around 78%. If you're not used to the tropics, it's pretty full on. Ocean temperature is 29 degrees, but do not swim in the ocean. Box jellyfish and saltwater crocodiles are both present. Stick to the pools. Catherine south of Darwin, similar conditions but slightly drier. Alice Springs, right in the heart of the continent, extreme heat. 38 today, 39 tomorrow, 40 on Friday. This is serious desert heat, folks. If you're revisiting Uluru or anywhere in the Red Centre, carry plenty of water, plan activities for early morning or late afternoon, wear sunscreen and a hat. Canberra, our nation S capital, you rerunning warm. 34 today, 36 tomorrow, then storms possible Friday afternoon, bringing temperatures back to 28 on Saturday. Now, coming back to that severe weather potential I mentioned, Saturday afternoon and evening, we're re-looking at a setup across the northern rivers of New South Wales and southeast Queensland that has some decent instability. We're talking about Cape values potentially exceeding 2,000 joules per kilogram, decent wind shear, and a triggering mechanism along a trough line. If this comes together and there is still uncertainty around the exact positioning, we could see supercell storms capable of producing giant hail, possibly exceeding 5 centimetres, damaging wind gusts over 90 kilometres per hour, and heavy rainfall leading to flash flooding. The areas of concern would be Lismore, Casino, Ballina, Byron Bay, and potentially extending down to Coffs Harbour. Actually, let me clarify that the European model is more aggressive with this setup than Access. The GFS sits somewhere in between. By tomorrow evening, we should have much better clarity on whether this is a high-end severe weather event or something more moderate. So yeah, check back tomorrow because this could be significant. If you haven't already, drop your city or town in the comments. I am reading through them all, and tomorrow I'll be giving more specific local forecasts. Fire danger remains a concern across parts of South Australia, Western Victoria and inland New South Wales, where we've had prolonged dry conditions and elevated temperatures. If you're in these areas, stay updated with your local fire authority warnings. Total fire ban days are taken very seriously. For coastal areas from Sydney down to the Victorian border, surf conditions are building. We're re-looking at 1 to 2 metre swells tomorrow, building to 2 to 3 metres Friday and Saturday as that low pressure system develops. Beach erosion is possible in exposed locations. Rips will be strong, so if you are hitting the beach, swim between the flags. Now, hang on, let me check the latest model run for Sunday because there's been some interesting changes. Yeah, right, so Sunday S looking like a recovery day for most of the East Coast. That trough system should be well offshore by then. We'll see clearing skies, temperatures moderating, lighter winds. The one location that might miss out on the clearing is far northeast New South Wales and southeast Queensland, where we could still see some shower activity lingering. Water temperatures around the country, Sydney 23 degrees, Melbourne 17, Brisbane 27, Perth 21, Adelaide 20, Hobart 15. UV index is extreme across most of Australia. Right now, we're talking 8 to 10 plus in many locations. Slip, slop, slap is not optional. Even on cloudy days, you can get burnt pretty quickly. Seek shade between 11 and 3 if possible. Overnight temperatures tonight, Sydney dropping to 22, Melbourne to 16, Brisbane to 24, Perth to 19, Adelaide to 18, Hobart to 12, Darwin to 26, Canberra to 15. Looking ahead to next week, and this is still a long way out there, potential for another heat spike across southeastern Australia Tuesday and Wednesday next week. The models are still diverging on this. The monsoon in the north looks like it's staying active for at least another week. So Darwin, Cairns, Townsville expect ongoing afternoon storm activity and high humidity. There is one detail about next week that I will be watching closely, and I will share this in tomorrow's forecast once I've had a chance to analyse the latest runs properly, but it involves potential for a cut-off low developing in the Tasman Sea. These systems can be tricky. Quick update on that tropical disturbance in the Coral Sea. It's currently sitting about 1,000 kilometres northeast of Cairns, moving slowly southwest. At this stage, it's not expected to develop into a tropical cyclone, but we're re-monitoring it closely. The wind shear in the environment is pretty hostile for development. For farmers and rural communities, soil moisture levels vary enormously across the country. Parts of Western Queensland and inland New South Wales are still pretty dry despite recent rain. Southeast Queensland and northern New South Wales have seen good moisture in recent weeks. Southern Australia is generally okay for this time of year. Just a reminder that weather models are tools, not crystal balls. Even the best models have uncertainty, especially beyond 3 days. When I'm giving you forecasts for the weekend and early next week, there's inherent uncertainty in those numbers. That SY checking back daily gives you the most accurate and up-to-date information. At about the 10-minute mark now, so if you are still with me, I appreciate it. Seriously, drop your location in the comments if you haven't already. Whether you are in a capital city or a small regional town, I want to make sure tomorrow's forecast covers your area. There has been questions about whether this summer has been wetter or drier than normal. It really depends on your location. The tropical north has been fairly typical for wet season. Southeast Queensland has been drier than average. Looking at minimum temperatures for the rest of the week, most areas staying fairly mild. The coolest minimums will be inland Tasmania and the alpine areas of Victoria and New South Wales, where we could see single digits. The warmest minimums in Darwin and Cairns staying above 25 degrees. Wind speeds generally moderate across most areas. Winds could gust higher in any thunderstorm activity, potentially 50 to 70 kilometres per hour in the stronger cells. Rainfall totals for the next 7 days looking heaviest in the tropics. Darwin could see 80 to 120 millimetres, Cairns similar. Southeast Queensland and northern New South Wales, if those severe storms materialise Saturday, could see 50 to 80 millimetres in the heaviest falls. Most of southern Australia, minimal rain expected. The jet stream is currently positioned well south of the continent, which is typical for summer. Right, so here's what to expect tomorrow from my forecast. I'll be diving deeper into that severe weather potential for Saturday, giving you updated model guidance on exactly where the highest risks are. I'll also have more detail on next week's potential heat spike, including which areas are most likely to be affected. Plus, I'll be addressing specific locations that you've mentioned in the comments with personalised forecasts. The forecast confidence is high for the next 48 hours, moderate for the weekend, and lower for early next week. That's normal. The further out we go, the more uncertainty creeps in. I want to be clear about something. Weather forecasting is not an exact science. We use sophisticated models, decades of climatological data and real-time observations, but Mother Nature still throws curveballs. When I give you a forecast, there is always margin for error. That's why coming back daily makes such a difference. Today's forecast might show storms at 3 p.m. Tomorrow's forecast might adjust that to 5 p.m. because the models have refined the timing. By Friday morning, we might know with high confidence it's going to be 4:30 p.m. Quick recap before I let you go. Sydney storms tomorrow afternoon. Melbourne dry tomorrow, change Friday. Brisbane afternoon storms continuing, clearing Saturday. Perth and Adelaide, beautiful conditions. Hobart, showers clearing. Darwin, wet season continues. Canberra, hot through Thursday, storms Friday. Severe weather potential Saturday across northern New South Wales and southeast Queensland, but still some uncertainty around exact locations and timing. Tomorrow's forecast will have the updated model guidance, more detail on that weekend severe weather setup, and personalised forecasts for the locations you've mentioned in the comments. I'll also be looking at the extended outlook for next week with that potential heat spike. Weather across Australia continues to show just how diverse this continent is. From tropical storms in Darwin to dry heat in Alice Springs to cool temperate conditions in Hobart, we've got it all happening right now. Thanks for watching, and I genuinely appreciate everyone who takes the time to watch these forecasts and engage in the comments. Tomorrow's video will be up at the usual time, so I'll catch you then. Stay safe out there. Keep an eye on the Bureau of Meteorology warnings for your area.